Greetings, beautiful beings. Welcome back to Shelter in the Storm with A Course in Miracles, Lesson 50. Okay, we are in Chapter 4, The Illusions of the Ego, Part 1. Right Teaching and Right Learning. Pardon me, I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat today, so I may need to a couple of times. A good teacher clarifies his own ideas and strengthens them by teaching them. Teacher and pupil are alike in the learning process. They are in the same order of learning, and unless they share their lessons, conviction will be lacking. A good teacher must believe in the ideas he teaches, but he must meet another condition. He must believe in the students to whom he offers the ideas. Many stand guard over their ideas because they want to protect their thought systems as they are. And learning means change. Change is always fearful to the separated, because they cannot conceive of it as a move towards healing the separation. They always perceive it as a move toward further separation, because the separation was their first experience of change. You believe that if you allow no change to enter into your ego, you will find peace. This profound confusion is possible only if you maintain that the same thought system can stand on two foundations. Nothing can reach spirit from the ego, and nothing can reach the ego from spirit. Spirit can neither strengthen the ego nor reduce the conflict within it. The ego is a contradiction. Yourself and God's self are in opposition. They are opposed in source, in direction, and in outcome. They are fundamentally irreconcilable, because spirit cannot perceive the ego, because spirit cannot perceive, and the ego cannot know. They are therefore not in communication, and can never be in communication. Nevertheless, the ego can learn, even though its maker can be misguided. He cannot, however, make the totally lifeless out of the life given. Spirit need not be taught, but the ego must be. Learning is ultimately perceived as frightening because it leads to the relinquishment, not the destruction, of the ego to the light of spirit. This is the change the ego must fear, because it does not share my charity. My lesson was like yours, and because I learned it, I can teach it. I will never attack your ego, but I am trying to teach you how its thought system arose. When I remind you of your true creation, your ego cannot but respond with fear. Teaching and learning are your greatest strengths now, because they enable you to change your mind and help others to change theirs. Refusing to change your mind will not prove that the separation has not occurred. The dreamer who doubts the reality of his dream while he is still dreaming is not really healing his split mind. You dream of a separated ego and believe in a world that rests upon it. This is very real to you. You cannot undo it by not changing your mind about it. If you are willing to renounce the role of guardian of your thought system and open it to me, I will correct it very gently and lead you back to God. we'll leave our text there for today and move on to lesson 50 as soon as I can find it. Lesson 50, here we go. I am sustained by the love of God. Here is the answer to every problem that will confront you today and tomorrow and throughout time. In this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God. Your faith is placed in the most trivial and insane symbols: pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being liked, knowing the right people, and an endless list of forms of nothingness that you endow with magical powers. All these things are your replacements for the love of God. All these things are cherished to ensure a body identification. They are songs of praise to the ego. Do not put your faith in the worthless. It will not sustain you. Only the love of God will protect you in all circumstances. It will lift you out of every trial and raise you high above all the perceived dangers of this world into a climate of perfect peace and safety. It will transport you into a state of mind that nothing can threaten, nothing can disturb, and where nothing can intrude upon the eternal calm of the Son of God. Put not your faith in illusions. They will fail you. Put all your faith in the love of God within you, eternal, changeless, and forever unfailing. This is the answer to whatever confronts you today. Through the love of God within you, you can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. Tell yourself this often today. It is a declaration of release from the belief in idols. It is your acknowledgement of the truth about yourself. For 10 minutes, twice today, morning and evening, let the idea for today sink deep into your consciousness. Repeat it. Think about it. Let related ideas come to help you recognize its truth, and allow peace to flow over you like a blanket of protection and surety. Let no idle and foolish thoughts enter to disturb the holy mind of the Son of God. Such is the kingdom of heaven. Such is the resting place where your Father has placed you forever. Another beautiful lesson for us. How blessed are we? Lesson 50. I am sustained by the love of God. You are blessed beings, indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. This is the ultimate truth. You are sustained by the love of God. You are not sustained by money. You are not sustained by food. You are not sustained by any of these material things that you have been taught sustain you. As long as you believe they sustain you, they do. This is one of the great paradoxes of being in physical experience, as you are in this 3D plane you call life. What you believe becomes true for you. Indoctrinated on your plane to believe in these systems, you truly, with every part of your being, believe you are sustained by your paycheck and physical, material things. Once you change your mind, you have a different experience. And that is what we are doing here. We are changing your mind when we have you say and repeat things that you don't believe, things you really don't believe, until they shift your mind a little bit and you begin to have a different experience. Those of you now 50 lessons into this training program see differences in your lives. Perhaps you have become less reactive or find feelings of love surface in your mind that you didn't have before. Perhaps you have the feeling to reach out to people you have not talked with for some time. Perhaps you have the urge to change your diet a little bit. That unhealthy food you've always eaten is now less attractive. You're still eating it, but there's something going on. These are the effects of the lessons. They change your experience. They present themselves to you in the form of experience of shifting consciousness, and you develop your faith. You do not understand the lessons, how they work, or how they transform your mind. Then, lo and behold, there is physical evidence of them doing something. We want this developing faith to fuel you to do the next 50 lessons. We want you to use the faith you have developed from the little changes you've seen, the little ups in your frequency that you experience, to charge you to move through the next 50 lessons. Look, you have gone through 50 lessons already. You can go through the next 50 lessons just as quickly. As you do, you continue to receive experiential shifts and changes. In addition, the escalating energies of your planet cause shifts and changes apart from these lessons. You encounter ideas, beliefs, and thoughts that do not fit anymore with these escalating frequencies. They are hateful thoughts, unloving ideas, and separation concepts. You will become more aware of them over the next few months, and this is wonderful news for you. These things will disturb you when you encounter them, but they do not deserve to reside in the mind of God's most holy son or daughter. They do not love. They are fear-based, hate-driven, and attack-oriented. And they always attract like frequencies to you in the form of experience. So we want to remind you when an unloving part of your mind comes into your awareness. Do not hate or resent it and think it makes you a bad student of A Course in Miracles. Be joyful and say, "Ah, I see that part of me now. I do not want this to reside in my mind or to send out that frequency and attract like things to me. I'm going to, now that I see that part of my mind, bring it up to the light for healing. I will ask to have it removed. Although I must do my part not to strengthen this unloving part of my mind by behaving as if it's true." That is how you reinforce beliefs and ideas. You strengthen them when you act as if they're true. When you see that unloving part of yourself, we want you to not identify it as you. We want you to identify it as something placed in your mind that you no longer want. It is not a part of you. It is not you. It is an unloving belief taught to you, trained in you, and surreptitiously implanted in you. We want you to understand that you are love. You are made by love, from love, and for love. Anything in you that does not love is not you. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we are looking forward to the next 50 lessons with you. We will see you again tomorrow. Namaste, blessed ones.